What time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah.
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Hello and welcome in to yet another edition of Your Show. Crazy. We are about to hit 300 episodes. A couple more days. So thank you for being the biggest part of this, obviously. It's your show for a reason. I say it all the time, and it doesn't happen without you. I am your host, Gary, and this still, as far as we know, the only show going live 4 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. We call that scheduled viewing, just like we grew up with. And so damn proud to be able to join you each and every weekday at this time. It really means a lot. So thank you for being a part of this amazing little journey that we've started to try to make the world a better place. You know, just reminding people, put others before yourself. The golden rules, man. Treat others how you want to be treated. All that little stuff. We're like a megaphone, an amplifier for that message. And so proud to be able to continue to get that out there because it's starting to make a difference. It really is. As we become more and more the voice, the hyper-local voice of this beautiful city of ours, it's so cool to be able to put out positivity and love and compassion and empathy, all the things we're missing right now. So thank you for being a part of that. And also to thank you for being a part of that, we have the cutest cam in the history of all cams. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to the Margaret cam. Look at that. Oh, I got this. We got Phenom on the ones and twos. Say, Phenom, pop back to 3 for me and say hello. Well, I got this done. There he is. Look at that. Still just a hand, but oh, what a hand he is. Look, she's dozing. She's getting dozy. I want to get right in on that little spot there. Look at that. Now that, my friends, is a Maggie Cam. The Maggie Cam, as always, for our fantastic friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street. They are your pet's natural grocer. I was in there today picking up food, saw Mike, and said hello, and we broed out for a bit because he's one of our favorite people ever. Such a nice, incredible dude. And Leroy was there as well, and Leroy was angry at me. I walked in, Leroy starts barking. I'm like, oh, what's wrong, Leroy? What's going on? Leroy's there, greeting dog as well. Leroy was upset I didn't bring Maggie with me. I was out and about, and I decided to stop in and get some food for her, and Leroy's like, yo, where's my girl? It's like, I'm sorry, Leroy. And he's like, yap, yap, yap. I was like, I'm sorry, dude. So I owe Maggie a trip over to Pet Planet on 8th Street because it is her most favoriteest store in the history of everything. We picked up some of that amazing Go food that keeps her fur so soft and cuddly, as well as some turkey treats, as Tuesday treats are a thing over there. They got sales going on and all the buckets strewn around the entire store, full of all the different treats your animals will absolutely love. They also got all the accessories you need, from matching buckle-up collars and leashes to all the outfits your heart desires, to all the toys. They got walls and walls of toys. They got crates, they got beds, they got the greatest cleaning station in the history of anything. Like, you go in there, you pop your pop-up, throw them in there, harness them down, then you got the soap, you got the water, you got the blow dryer. It's all there, all contained. It's an amazing, amazing facility. Right beside that, if you're looking to get into that raw food diet everyone's talking about, they got fridges full of it there for you. They got all the medicines. They got everything you need, and if they don't, they will order it for you because Mike and or Rochelle are two of the greatest humans ever. I'm telling you this, and I say it confidently because we talk all the time. We're very real here. We thrive by being real in a industry that is full of lies. And I know that sounds pretty dramatic to say it in that way, so I might reel it in a bit, but you know what I'm saying. Real people doing real things. That's what we do here. And it's just the same right over at Pet Planet on 8th Street. So they're also open after hours and on weekends, thanks to Kirsten and Chris. Everything you need and so much more. Your life changes for the better every single time you walk in to that amazing store that is Pet Planet on 8th Street. They are your pet's natural grocer. There she goes. Look at that. It's like, am I allowed to sleep now, Dad? Yeah, you did it, girl. You go off to Puppy Dreamland. About 45, 50 minutes, we're going to get you fed. All right. Time to get down to business. As Tuesdays, we have a lot of fun over here. Mostly because this was pretty much the first show that we really got going off the ground. The first super team that we brought together. And we also have an intro Before I used to like try to run out, but now we just got this intro. So I'm going to run this. Phenom, as I'm running this, you get us a camera too, and we'll get this party started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the All Outta Angst podcast. We got Uncle Mike. We got Matt from all the bands. No Brando today, as we had to move the Twitch stream to tomorrow. But it is the three of us, and we are back, and we are alive, and we are, dare I say, thriving.
We're back, baby. Back, baby.
Did we go anywhere?
Wow.
Were we?
I didn't. I certainly didn't.
I guess that's right.
Some guys went a couple places, I think.
Only one of us. maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I might have put on a few kilometers. It might have happened.
Before we get into that, let's check in with this jabroni over here. Uncle Mike.
Yo.
How are you, old friend?
Pretty good.
Hold on. I got something for that. Nailed it. How's the ranch? How's the shop? How's the business
Things
and all
are
that?
good. Yeah, just chugging away. It was nice to get a little bit of rain, scattered rain the last couple days. Looks like we're going to get some more, which I've been anxiously awaiting. So I was trying to take advantage of it with some planting of some, other flowers and trees and whatnot, and some more gardening, and that's kind of the story of my life.
But
these
that's
days.
all you do.
Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty much, yeah.
How's the driveway?
Good. It's done.
Come on.
It's done. Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Hold on, I got another
Thank
one.
you.
Driveway. There it is. That's sweet.
Yeah. Another thing off the list, so that's good.
And knowing you've jumped right into something else now, haven't you?
Yeah. There's a few projects on the go.
Uncle Mike doesn't like to chill.
Even
That's how he chills, just
with,
by working.
Like our small little garden that we have, it's just like there's always 10 million things that, like, even when you're trying to do one task, you find 10 that you have to do along the way. Like, it's impossible. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
You work nonstop. That's how you do it.
Yep.
You just
Yeah,
don't stop.
but I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So,
My
gets old.
soft.
But
my
like it'll be
soft
time to
hands
kind
don't
of
like it.
as like now things are planted, things are growing, so then it kind of just comes down to like watering and weeding a little bit,
Maintenance.
like just.
but weeding is a big job.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's.
a
I mean,
huge
and
one.
but I like one bite at a time. It's like
That's
like every morning I go out with a cup of coffee and pull a couple weeds.
Yep.
I come home from work, pull a couple weeds, and.
My driver instructor, when I was learning the 1A or whatever, he'd always said, like, because you want to keep the cab of your vehicle good, and he's like, if you leave it just a little better than when you came in, and that's kind of what I've been taking for gardening. If you leave it a little better than you saw it at the start of the day, you're in good shape.
And I mean a trick, maybe not a trick, but if you're not doing it, I would highly suggest like mulching things. So like you can mulch with grass clippings, you can mulch with leaves, you can mulch with like wood mulch.
Cover with that, or
so like cover like as things are coming up.
Yeah.
Then like mulch around your tomatoes. So like A, it's going to retain soil moisture. B, it's going to block some of that sunlight to kind of keep soil temperature a little bit. And then it will help suppress weeds as well.
So you're saying you don't even need like the wooden beneficial mulch,
No,
just like
no, it can be
type of-
anything like hay, straw, grass clippings, leaves, because essentially all that stuff's going to then break down and go into the soil, which is going to make your
Also
soil
good.
better. Wood chips, I find like perennials, I think are really good. So like that's what I do around fruit trees or like perennial bushes.
Yeah.
It's a little trickier when. Next year you want to turn over that bed into something else now.
Now
And
you
it's
got
like,
a
oh
bunch of
shit,
wood-
now I got wood chips. It's like, and you like I will pull them to the side and then put them back kind of thing. But I find with leaves or hay or straw or.
I've also been doing your kind of move where like my composts are sort of fullish, but there's like some good brown material that I don't want to get rid of. So I've just kind of got that
save a little
I got
back,
it staged
yeah.
and
Nice.
like it's breaking down a little bit just beside, so that's good.
Yep.
The amount of garden talk we get into here. It's like people look at us and they probably think the last thing those guys do is garden. And here we are every time checking in on the garden. How's it doing? Getting those
You'd be
tips.
surprised, like backstage at the festivals, the majority of it was garden talk.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
gonna
it,
lie.
man. That's what you do in the summer.
Everyone's like, "Oh, you garden too," and then everyone can like let their personalities
chime
out.
in,
Like they don't have to pretend like
That's
they're
it.
super hardcore.
Do you feel like you've been way smarter in those conversations, thanks to Uncle Mike?
I feel like I at least have a leg to stand on,
for
but
sure.
I don't know. Like everything in life, I feel like I'm just going with the stream, and I don't know. I'm not in charge.
Yeah, I know that feeling very well. I definitely do. DAM20 promo code. Use it. Order online when you're getting all your Uncle Mike's products. Still going 20% I don't know how much. I guess you could do like 80% better, but 20% is pretty good. That's a pretty damn good discount. So just type in DAM20 and you'll get 20% off your order online. Matt, for all the bands.
Yes.
1,600 kilometers, is that correct?
Yeah, in 2 days. Yeah, 1,600 kilometers. 3 shows or 3 festivals played because I played the second one with both Untimely and Into.
Of course.
Yeah, over 2 days. And the most surprising number of all, 0 left-handed cigarettes consumed over the whole. But yeah, and then after the Decimate Festival, that was the final one. So that's just in Millet, which is like 50 kilometers south of Edmonton.
Okay.
It's like 2 o'clock. We ended. I had all my stuff, in the
AM, PM?
Yeah. AM.
AM,
Yeah,
okay.
so we're late, and normally when Aaron's with me, we'll like crash for a couple hours, and then we like road
hit it.
dog in the middle of the night because we're excited to get back to the kiddies.
Kiddies,
But,
yeah.
But like I was there, and like I'm like kind of hyped up, and like got all the adrenaline from the show, and I'm missing Aaron, I'm missing the kittens and stuff. So I like tried to close my eyes for 20 minutes, and I'm like, nope, I'm just gonna go
Not
for
happening.
it. So went for it, and yeah, it was all good. Like one time at about like 5 a.m. there was a deer that crossed, and I had to slam on the brakes, and it was
Yeah.
like
It's a wake-up call.
pretty
It's a wake-up
close,
call,
but
yeah.
yeah. And then by the time I made it to Lloyd, I was getting pretty drowsy. But I told you on our like tips, road tour thing, where
love
I always
those
have my
episodes, yeah.
cooler of food, so you don't have to waste money.
That's right.
And I had a bunch of Bunwidges, and I had some waters and stuff. But what I did is I always put new ice in at the start of every day, so it's safe temperatures.
yeah.
And at Lloydminster, I'm getting drowsy, so what I would do is I would just reach in, grab an ice cube, and kind of rub it on my eyes, and then roll down the window and shoot the air. So it kind of like
Wow,
it like awakened the senses enough that it like kept me going. And I literally did that for the last 3 hours, and then. I think I made it home at just before 8 o'clock, and I called Erin because she thought I was probably still in Edmonton.
yeah.
I'm like, hey, Erin, can you like turn off the alarm? She's like, you're here. Yeah, it's pretty. And then we just had we basically stole that day back because I would have been driving,
Yeah.
but because I drove throughout the night,
Free
we
day.
hung out in the backyard, did some weeding, gardening, a little day drinking. It was pretty awesome. It was
Here,
awesome.
here.
But yeah, as far as the shows, I don't know. Do you want me to get into that, or
We can get into it now.
So
I feel
yeah.
like this is going to lead to a lot of
It
conversations.
is, yeah. So I drove up, and there was one portion making my way to Medicine Hat where the rain started coming faster than the wipers could keep
Oh,
up. So that
no.
was stressful. So I'm down to 60 kilometers, and it's sketchy. But what this does is it really helps showcase how good Uncle Mike's deodorant is, because
Nice.
when I get driving stress, that's when I get my worst BO.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
It stood up to it.
Nice.
It stood up to it, and I was impressed. But
Man.
made it to Medicine Hat.
That'd be a
and-
good promo, too, right there.
exactly.
Yeah.
Take a note.
made it to Medicine Hat and the festival, and I've been doing this a long time, and these festivals are always they're quite hectic, and I always have so much respect for all the promoters that are doing this, because sometimes they're putting 20-30 grand up of their own money, and
Big time.
and everyone's gonna talk about what could have been better, could have been worse, but on the whole, I'd say both of the festivals were quite well. There's again, I'm not gonna maybe mention any of the names, or we don't need to do reels of them, just because I want to talk from the gut of what I liked, what I didn't. So
Absolutely.
the main thing from the first night was we get there, and it's there's two stages. The one in the club, and then there was a outdoor stage that was they had converted the parking lot into a kind of stage area, and it was cool, but they had no area to have your gear, to have gear. So basically what bands had to do was have their gear and wait until they were playing and then bring it on stage. So you have to leave it in the car, I guess. And then there was no green room too, which again I like talking to people and stuff, but it's nice to have a space where it's not you're not getting blaring loud music the whole time, where you're trying to warm up or tune your
Or
guitar.
people always coming up to you
just
to be like,
talking.
hey, how's it going?
And now you're blowing your voice out talking.
Yeah.
So
and you're trying to get in the zone, you need maybe some time.
So
to
yeah,
prepare
that's
or
one
whatever.
thing I wish that they would have had there. And when we showed up to the promoter was at the door, and he was double fisting, and it's 5 o'clock, and that always scares the hell out of me. I always feel you probably shouldn't be doing too much of anything when you're
In
running
charge.
a business,
Yeah.
and because things can happen. And then there's little
Very
things
true.
there was supposed to be a back line of everything, but they just had a bass cabinet and no head, nothing that actually makes the sound. So 10 minutes before Troy's like, I don't have a bass head. And he's like trying to go around to ask like other bands,
Oh,
you know, like, so like while you're trying to get your head into the game, he
the
was
last
trying to
thing you need to do
wrangle
is
up a
stressing
bass
about
cab. And then
pieces and parts.
the other like anxiety thing is we got these side scrims. So basically they just have our Into Eternity icons on them, you know, like so when it's on stage, you can see like the the art or whatever. And it's also cool after you play a song, you can kind of tuck behind and, you know, have a sip of water. And it's just like a little area. But Troy had ordered some Amazon scrim holders, and he's like, well, $160, they look pretty good or whatever. And like they were missing pieces and they were cheap. So like he managed to like borrow a broom handle from the club to like, you know, like duct tape it together. But as they were getting moved onto the stage, and again, this stage is just like on a loading dock concrete thing. So it was not a very big stage.
Keep going. I got you. No, you're all good.
And so as we're moving the scrims up, the one starts falling off. And again, Troy just got his bass cab, and now this scrim's falling apart. So like Jim gave Troy a drumstick, and he duct taped that. We managed to get the scrims going and played the set, and it was really cool as far as this set. Like there's a lot of people that knew the lyrics. So, you know, like when you're playing the songs, there's people up front, and there was like literally dudes crying and like people singing along. So
the power of music.
Yeah, real special night. And then after the show, you know, got offered, or someone asked me if I wanted to buy LSD, which it just makes me happy that I still look like someone that would want be on the lookout for LSD.
I'm a little upset that they were asking to buy. They should have just been offering.
Exactly. I mean,
like,
the
what
band,
a great
like,
show.
come
Would you
on.
like some of this LSD, sir?
In all fairness, I think he might have just been some guy hanging around. Like, I don't know if
Trying
he
to
was
make
part
a
of the
buck.
show.
Yeah,
But
brings
yeah.
us to our next point, kids. Don't buy drugs from strangers.
He was probably a narc anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
They always are.
Yeah, we got back to the hotel, and this is another thing where it's like we had 2 hotel rooms at the Flamingo.
Hell yes.
And, you know, it's like one of those like American hotels, you know, where there's like a pool and kind of like the 2 levels.
Hot tub?
Or whatever.
Hot tub?
Not that I know. And the pool was actually full of microwaves and stuff. Like it was kind of like not
One of those
Yeah.
hotels.
So then opened it up, and it was like it smelled sort of a little bit of like rancid meat and sweaty socks. So it's like not the greatest smell, but either
Well,
way.
depending on what you're going for, yeah.
There was microwaves in the pool?
I guess like
in the physical
yes,
water?
Yes.
Clearly, it wasn't for swimming. It was a
Interesting.
garbage
yeah.
disposal. So they're dumb.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. So yeah.
It is, to be fair, really fun to throw stuff into pools.
Yeah.
Especially
that's
from
true.
high up.
And so yeah, in the morning, 11 o'clock checkout or whatever, and it was like 11:03. I was already out of my room, but Troy was like just getting out. 11:03, Troy gets a call. It's like, hey, are you guys staying another night? And they're like, no, we're leaving. And they're like, it's past 11. It's like it's 11:03, and there's like 3 other people in the whole hotel. Like,
Clearly
give me a break.
they need some business,
Yes.
and they're doing what they
didn't ding
can.
you for late checkout, did
No,
they?
we didn't, as far as I know. I
How
don't.
do you mind if I ask? How much does a room cost at the Flamingo?
Well, they were. Did you check?
You knew it was coming, didn't you? Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Yeah, because apparently it was like 3 stars, but I feel like they were getting a lot. That's
That's fluffed
Yeah,
a little
that is
bit.
fluffed.
Yeah.
Numbers are a little smudged.
I was
I
gonna
don't
say
know
for
what-
$70, I'd put up with microwaves in the
Yeah.
pool.
Yeah.
You know.
Did anyone go for a swim with the microwaves?
No, like we did want to swim, but
Yeah.
it was just I don't know.
I'd be so angry and pissed off that I would have forced myself to jump in there. Just because I love swimming so much.
And
Like
come
I love
out
pools at
radioactive.
hotels.
Yeah.
Yeah. New
We should have.
superpowers.
If I could give a place 0, I would.
There it is. the lowest they could give
Yeah.
is 3. They have it set up just right.
Default.
But
Dude.
yeah, so that was
Man.
good. And then yeah, we had to drive to, and I thought like, oh, I'm in Alberta. It's not gonna be that much driving to like Millet. And then I was like, oh, 5 hours. That's crazy because Medicine Hat's very south, and then Millet's just south of Edmonton, which is quite north. And then all the GPS routes that I was provided go straight up the middle, and it's like back roads. So I'm like, nope, I'm just gonna go to Calgary, then go up.
Stick with what
Yeah.
you know.
Made it to Millet, and this, like, both Untimely and Into were playing this one. And this one was, like, super cool in the sense that it's in a hockey arena, like they're hockey
Nice.
arenas. And then
Yeah.
there was, like, camping for everyone outside. And then there was the hockey arena. And so that's just cool, like, getting to play with that kind of volume.
Yeah.
And, like, they had, like, smoke, like, not like fire cannons, but it, like, shot smoke
Hell
and,
yeah.
like, lasers and projectors.
scenes of laser
and-
beams,
and-
man. I
and-
love that shit.
Yeah, all this stuff, and the sound was really cool, and just a lot of good bands, and that one was good as far as like at that point I was like 1 show down, 2 to go, and I'm kind of like I'd got a bunch of the driving out of the way. I'm like I'm almost there, and
you're feeling it.
Untimely had a really good set, and it's just nice again, like with Mike. This was his second set with Untimely Demise, and
shout out to Mike.
he just fits in. Not only does he play the music good, he looks good up on stage, and he brings out a lot. And like I think Murray, because Murray's super uncomfortable with him, so now Murray's stage presence is really nice. Like we were doing, just basically going off, doing a bunch of like random kicks, like that was our thing. And like
love the
Murray
kicks.
ended our set doing a David Lee Roth off the riser. I was like, nice work, Mervs. But
Mervs knows what's up, man.
Yeah,
he's an entertainer.
Yeah,
I love
it was awesome, but it's cool because there's all these different types of bands. Like the band before us was like this legitimate, really cool like black metal band, like super satanic evil band. But they were really good. And then we come on and we got more of the party vibes. We were smiling, and that's our vibe. And it's nice having the different kinds. Another cool band. There was a System of a Down cover band that like nailed it. It was awesome. Like
of all the bands to cover, hey?
And, like they just like played all the hits. I was like, I had no idea that there was a System of a Down cover band, and they frickin' rule.
See, I've always been of the ilk that System of a Down has always just been a poor man's Rage Against the Machine. So I never got into it. I was like, I don't like the guy, he's always screaming, and it just wasn't for me. But I think I could get into a cover band of System of a Down.
Yeah, they were good, and the harmonies, and again, because everyone knows the music,
it's so hard to play, man.
You got people singing along,
the timing of those songs and all the stuff that's going on.
Yeah, and it was cool because the one guitar player did the like screaming, and then the front person was a female, which is cool too, but like sounded very, very similar to Surge.
Turd.
But that was awesome. And then Into played, and again, just it was nice because the first show I didn't really get any jams since we played our last show. So that was like you're just going into a show, and there's all this hectic stuff, and I didn't get to practice with them. Where this one I had the night before playing with them, so I felt more comfortable, and I had already played 2 sets that went well. So
warmed up, you're feeling good.
Yeah, it was good. And just lots of kicking, jumping around, and like with all the. I just love getting to play on these cool stages, and the setup there was like fantastic. Where it was the opposite, where like every band had like in this hockey arena a little squared off area where their gear is, where you can hang out.
Place to hang,
they had
little gear.
They had Decimate. Like the Leduc Brewing Company made a Decimate beer for the festival, which is really cool, and just great getting to see all my friends. Amanda, who used to sing in Into Eternity, and she plays in Famous Strangers now, but just getting to see her, and she's just such a pleasant human being, and getting to see all my friends, and I felt completely charged, and then after I was just like, you know what, I want to get home, and road dogged it, and that was the weekend.
You didn't end up in the penalty box there?
No penalty box, but it's
2 minutes for looking good.
Yeah. Oh no, that's not me. Aaron wasn't with me.
Touche. Man, see, that's a little taste of what it takes to be successful in music, right? Like that's what people talk about. That's the grind.
Yeah, because it's never ends. You're loading gear, you're watching gear. Like, because I forgot to tell you on Medicine Hat, because I didn't have anywhere to put my gear, and I don't want to necessarily be getting hit by the sun all day. So by the time you play, you're kind of tired and you got sun. So I literally went in the CRV, cranked my window down. I have power windows, but I wanted to make this motion here. Stuck the headstock out, and I just warmed up in the car by myself because now I'm watching my gear. I'm warming up. I have a place to sit, because again, when you're like just standing with that strap on you for like 5 hours before you play. Now you go play, your neck hurts, you end up pulling something, where I feel relatively good considering I was in the car for 16 hours and did 3 shows and blah, blah, blah.
I hear you talk about this, and then I try to localize it within myself, and I think about, like today, I woke up and I went and saw my friend Rihanna over at Ignite Athletics for a massage. Shout out to her, by the way. Amazing job. She also co-hosted the Not That Kind of Book Club, new show here on the network. Every Friday it drops. And I got my massage done, and then I went to Pet Planet on 8th Street to get food for Margaret. And so Gordie Howe Bowl is where Ignite is. So I go hit the freeway, hit Circle, make my way around, and then I go down Clarence. And then I see construction. And I say, no, I'm not falling
today.
for that.
Not
so
today.
I head down, what would it be? I guess Ruth Street, go down that way. And I'm going to be a smart guy, and I'm going to take Cumberland. And I turn on Cumberland. And guess what's on Cumberland? Construction! Are you kidding me? So I make my way around that. I finally, a drive that should have took about maybe 9 or 10 minutes, ended up taking about 25. And then I get there. I have my lovely experience at Pet Planet on 8th Street. And then I get back on 8th Street. And right when you pull out of that big mall there where Pet Planet on 8th Street is, construction! And so I'm like, at least I'm not going that way. I can take this left turn. And then I get on 8th Street. And what do I find? Construction! I put about an hour of driving in for a trip that was supposed to be about 15 to 20 minutes.
Well, you know, like, so the snow is gone.
Yes.
Right? That's our one season.
Yeah.
So now we're in construction season, Gary.
Everyone keeps saying this like that means it's okay. That doesn't make it okay.
I know, it's like...
Like, why the hell are we accepting of
It's kind
this?
of like, you know, back in the day, it's like, that's what we did back in the day. It's like, that doesn't mean it's right, just
Yeah.
that you did it.
Dude, like at some point you're going to have to realize if you want to have a good summer in this city, maybe you should open up some roads instead of closing every single one.
Well, and it's like, the worst part is when you try to avoid, it's like, okay, I know a way around
My
this,
shortcut.
right? And it's like, oh no.
Every
it's-
shortcut I went to had another one.
And I swear that it's like, yeah, why couldn't they divvy it up where it's like, okay, we're going to work on this street, but we're going to leave this access street.
So there's
you
some
know.
flow that
right,
can happen.
Exactly. You know, I'm sure they do have some type of planning.
You
but-
guys, I know we got friends.
try to-
Sonner Concrete Services, the best concrete service in the history of anything anywhere. They do it right.
They are fantastic.
Yeah, dude. And they are everywhere. But every single site I went to wasn't SCS. That's all I got to say.
And that's why it's not getting done quick and right.
The best. The best in the biz.
But-
and those little things that you notice, you know, it's like, man,
Oh,
why?
yeah.
Why do we have to shut this entire city down every summer? It would be okay if the roads would be good after, but they don't even do anything. The roads still suck. Like, I'm not going to be the complainer. I'm not going to be the, oh, blah, blah, blah. I already got that out of me. I want to just try to come together with people to find an answer to fix this incredibly annoying problem that we all face every single day in the city.
Yeah,
Every day.
It's annoying. And I kind of feel like, too, I've heard through the grapevine of people that I know who work on roadways, and they've got like a thing where you say, here's a pothole, you know, like, and then it'll
Right.
get fixed. And then the website shows like all of the potholes that have been fixed. But basically, in my opinion, what's kind of happening is now you're going there and there and there. Where like, I think if you systematically just like it might make more sense to just kind of do like sections at a time rather than like maybe the optics of, you know, like
Right.
showing that you're answering all these customers' calls where like if you just did it bit by bit, it might make more sense. But I don't know.
You know, and this will be my final thing on this before we move on. As a guy who already has horrible, horrible issues leaving the house to begin with, just mentally, to run into that. Like, I'm ready to sell the Shadow, or at least park it.
No, don't you can't sell that.
You're right, I would never sell it. I'll park it. I'm going to park it in the back, and I'm not going to drive for the rest of the summer because it makes no sense. Like, it's not worth it as a maybe this gets us all to walk. Maybe that's what
it's
it is.
frustrating. Yeah, because even our show, the 25th anniversary show, with all
parked
the
3 blocks
the-
down,
all
yeah.
the road stuff that's happening, but then they had that street fair too. So like for us to load in, I personally had to move about 3 like road closed signs
yeah.
and
Just to
I'm
get
like,
there.
you know what? I'm just gonna move this sign
Yeah.
because like I need to get in there.
If we don't, there's no show.
Yeah.
So, boys, solving the world's issues one at a time. That is what we do here on your show. This is the Tuesday edition. We got the all out of angst boys in the house, and we are going to tell you a little bit about another one of our boys. He goes by the name of Mobley Urente. Ooh. As it is time to spring into your dream home. Look at that. That's our dude right there. Spring's here, and so is your chance to find the perfect home. With mortgage rates coming down, now is the ideal time to buy. Mobley Urente with TMG The Mortgage Group works with multiple lenders to find the best mortgage for you, saving you time, money, and most of all, stress. If you've been driving around town, you got a little bit of stress building up, give my man Mobley a call. He'll help you out. Whether you're self-employed, yeah, I'm one of those. First-time buyer, not one of those, but I definitely have credit challenges. Right here, he's always there to help with 24/7 personalized support. And the best part, oh baby, I love this. Services are absolutely free. Plus, he'll continue to assist you long-term with refinancing, renewals, and mortgage strategies. That is Mobilirente. Mortgages made simple. Call him or text him anytime. 306-370-5804. Man, I love those live reads. They're so fun.
They are.
You know, because like you can do a little bit different every time and put a little bit of this on it and put a little of that and that. It's a lot of fun. And then I know that gets us into this. If you would like a live read, if you want to get in touch with us, you got a charity, you got an organization, you got something that needs a voice, we are here for you. We are becoming the voice of Saskatoon. We are becoming the place where people go to be heard. We got you covered. It's real easy. Royal Anders.
Royal Anders.
Sorry, this show always stops right in its tracks when Royal Anders shows up. How you doing, bud?
Very good, thank you.
Good to hear.
Having fun with the mod.
Perfect. Yeah, she's going to be upset, but there's no more treats in here. I got some inside, but you can give her some later. You guys ready to sing this email?
Oh, yeah.
Dang tootin'.
We're getting better and better. Yeah, the email is so fun that it actually has its own
We're
theme
getting
song.
worser and worser.
And it goes, like I've always been using the jump in, and it goes a little something like this. Hit it. But then it didn't really work out, so then I have to count it in anyway. So it's sort of counterproductive.
I feel like you're the band leader for this song.
Yeah, definitely. So just send us an email to 123 4 contact@dufferinave.com. That is the email. This is the theme song. Bro.
Getting it?
It's right there. It is right there, and I love it.
Here, just let me tune my voice. Okay, I'm good now.
That was perfect. From the guts. Right from the guts. All right, we're going to send it. Uncle Mike. Hey, Marge, chill out, bro. You like that song? Yeah, hi, I know. We heard. He's here. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Get it out of here. That end spot's always the best, because everyone has different
And I
reactions.
feel like I
to
always
getting in
look
the
like I'm
face.
dabbing or whatever that move is.
Rixie did that once.
Oh, yeah.
She accidentally dabbed, and then she did it for real, and I just roasted her. Roasted her. I was like, people still do that? And she's like, only the cool ones. I was like, oh, man.
All I know
You
is
need
if
some
I'm aware of
information.
anything like this, it's not cool.
It's past, exactly.
Like usually about 3 generations past or three
At least.
3 times.
Yeah, I'm with you. We also got a website. Royal Anders made it. So good, in fact, that I know how to navigate it, which
That's
is very
fine.
fun,
It's just
very amazing.
perfectly
Perfect size street sign, everything we need. He's like, you looking for me? That was very cute. Literally stole a little scritchy right there. Send this one over. Visit the website. See you later. That's like a slow little... And I figured out that... I got you in the groin, didn't I?
Dude.
Yeah, that's a graphic in the groin.
Yeah, I was going to say, not football in the groin, but...
Graphic in the groin.
I was
Doink.
saying Boo Earns.
I realized, because every time I said it, I try to do it like I'm a pro bowler.
Yeah,
put that
like,
spin on it,
you've
and
got
I was-
that flair. It's awesome.
I texted the Wing King, the king of wings, because he's also my king of bowling. I asked him, like, what's the name of that move from bowling? And it's like the name of a city. I can't remember. It's like Chicago or something. He's like, no, it's called Brooklyn, bro. And I'm like, of course it is. The Brooklyn spin.
What is the Brooklyn spin?
It's where
What's
you
the-
give it the extra spin and it goes
That's
all the way
what
up and
I
comes
like
back.
doing.
Yeah,
I love
Brooklyn
doing
at.
Brooklyn spin.
Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at?
Get that accent.
Get in your car. No, wait a minute. That's Boston.
Walking over here.
Hey, I'm walking over here. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Right?
that
New York's-
line
it's
was,
more just like a, yeah.
Sorry, that line was not scripted, apparently,
Which
in the
one?
movie.
I'm walking here?
Walking over here.
What movie is it from?
It's from...
Taxi driver. No.
There we go. I have no idea.
It might be Taxi
we-
Driver.
I just know it from Rick and Morty.
It's no, it's like it is from a movie. It's from like it might be Taxi Driver or it's something else.
Yeah.
But it's in
Nailed
that
it.
same
Nailed
era, like you know, late 70s, 80s.
Midnight
Cowboy.
There it
Oh,
is.
it's
There you
John
go.
Voight.
John Voight. Hold on. I'm going to find the one that's from Rick and Morty because it's so good. I'm walking
Yeah, I
here.
gotta still work on my- yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Cousin Nikki.
Nice.
So cousin Nikki from Rick and Morty, when they have they get infested with these aliens that implant thoughts into your head, like memories that make you think you've been living with them the whole time. And cousin Nicky shows up, and he's one of these aliens, and he just says, "I'm walking here." That's all he does the whole time. So I just quote that one instead of, what is it, Midnight Rider?
Midnight Cowboy.
Midnight Cowboy.
Cowboy.
Close. Just a bit
Everybody's
outside.
talking about it.
Voice of an
Can
angel.
hear what you're saying.
That movie's about male prostituting, right?
I believe it is.
Nice. Gigoloing. Oh,
Another technical term.
I ain't got nobody. Nobody. That's good. Boo. Street hustling? That's pretty good. Shout out to DLR. It's one of my favorite songs ever. You know, whenever you're scatting the video. Have you seen the video where he's just like walking around? He's on like a movie set, like a lot, and he's just walking between all the different shows.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Sweet.
Just a jiggle. Very good. We got a Twitch stream. Twitch.tv/Dufferin Ave Media. The schedule got a little wonky this week as we had Brooksy couldn't make it for Gaming with Brooksy yesterday. That's got moved to Friday, apparently. Today, Uncle Brando and Brando and Gary Get Good at Games, got moved to tomorrow because we had the Bamford Bros in here doing a couple more shows, dropping every Wednesday. A new show at the viewing room today as well. Shout out to Dragon and LB. So, the schedule looks like we will be going tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and then Friday at 1 o'clock, and then Friday night, which is normally Brando and Gary Get Good at Games with guests, as we've been crushing Final Fantasy VI. That one is getting bumped as well because we got the 3rd edition of the 13th Melon, your rider fan show that goes on during the game. LB is your host of that. He drags me along, trying to turn me into a CFL fan again, and it's a lot of fun. And shout out to our main man Brad over at Bugsy's, who gives us a Bugsy's Game Day feast that we love to show off and absolutely destroy. There it is, right there on the banner. So that show starts at 5 p.m. So we're going to have a moving set that day. We're going to try to get a nice long pre-tape at about the midway point, and then flip it while the pre-tape's going, and then when you come back, it's going to be right in
Sweet.
to the 13th Melon as the Riders get set to take on the Argos. Go Riders. Go Riders.
Go
All right,
Riders.
I'm going to send this thing
Send it.
all the way up. You ready? I'm going to do a lean, I'm going to grab, and I'm going to pull.
See, yeah, I want to watch and see what you're doing here.
Ah.
Yeah, that's good.
You see it, Uncle Mike? See it through the hole in the roof we just made? Whoops, you
Gonna have to
doodle.
fix that. We're supposed to get some rain tomorrow.
Yeah, no kidding. Woo!
Or today, maybe.
Is that for real? Timothy Bits hail.
No bueno.
Yikes. All right, well, no hanging outside.
I
No.
guess.
That's going to hurt a little bit.
Or wear your helmet. At least,
that's true.
I guess.
Very, very true. So we got into the concerts, festivals, I guess, hey?
Yeah, they were festivals.
Man, it's already festival season. Makes my brain hurt just thinking about all this stuff that's happening. I'm always trying to catch myself up with everything, and I'm still always so behind.
But yeah, it's just, it's so cool with the festivals. It's like, again, you've got, I think there was no international acts at any of these,
feel.
but you got from all the way from Vancouver to, I think Toronto was
Yeah.
probably the furthest east. But yeah, it's just fun seeing like the younger bands, doing it, because I've been
You
in
were
that
there.
position
Yeah.
a million times.
Wide-eyed
And, I
and-
really like the local band Crimson Caliber from Medicine Hat. They're
Was going to be what I wanted to get into was the other bands that made you go, oh my,
Yeah.
this is a lovely little party.
they're like that, just straightforward kind of thrash metal, like very like Untimely Demise-y or whatever. But they're just really good. Really good guys and girls. It's like a husband and wife. That
Get outta here.
She plays bass. He plays guitar and sings.
So
and-
much in common with Raven Witch.
And well, he had said to me, he's like, "Man, you're like my mentor," and I was like, "Man, that's great, Travis. Like that's awesome." Because again, we had played a show with them in Edmonton. I'm gonna say probably 12, 14 years ago when they were like real young, and now they're kind of their old guard, and it's fun to see the bands get to the next level,
Yeah.
and now they're the ones that are kind of being looked up to by other bands
Right.
and whatnot.
Yesterday I had LB and Dragon head off to do a big project that we started doing for a good buddy of mine. And they met at the house here at the studio to get some stuff. And as they were getting set to go away, they had the window down, and they got a little bit emotional because I had to stay here to do the show. So I just looked at both of them, and they're taking off. They're taking charge of this really big project. And I told him, I said, it feels like my babies are going off to college. You know, like those two dudes, like 19 and 20 years old. They've been here since the start. We've done all of this stuff here, and now we're moving out to bigger projects.
We don't need you, Dad.
That's pretty much what it was, right?
Yeah.
Like I think I offered. It's like, well, you don't have to be there. No, we don't need you.
You're gonna
It's
be
like, well,
back by 12 o'clock, though, right?
yeah, there it is.
No, a fun uncle. I'm sick of
uncle.
it. Why do we always get called creepy uncle? It's the fun uncle.
That's right. But just like seeing those people that you're guiding, right?
Yeah.
Like they're the guys. Like those two and Phenom, like they're the heartbeat of this place, and they're the ones that run everything. They're the ones that do all this stuff. And every now and then you get stuck in that moment where it's like, oh yeah, they're like young kids.
Yeah.
Like we have that talk all the time. When I was their age, all I did was drink till I blacked out every night and then went to work the next day and did that for like 10, 15 years, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, kids don't do that anymore. They're like, and it's a really weird sort of crossover because when you look out there, it feels like all these kids are all so lazy. They get jobs, you dang kids. But then the ones around here work harder than I'll ever work.
Yeah, every single person needs to be judged on a person-to-person basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's easy for us old balls to be like, dang kids, they just don't work. But, you know, a lot of the time, you know, the smartest, hardest working people are the younger generation. And then there's the bozos that are lazy and entitled, and, you know, there's them too. So.
And most of my life, I was that as well until this thing forced me to actually work. Like I say it all the time. I never worked hard in my life until we started this whole dream.
But the
it's
thing
the hardest I've ever
you're
worked.
Building something for yourself.
That's it.
It's so exciting to see just that little momentum growth or whatever. I'm riveting Mike right now.
Was he yawning?
Sorry,
Did he
sorry.
yawn? Damn it, Uncle Mike!
Just kidding.
Come on.
I'm just tired.
Yeah, he works hard. See?
I know,
He's a hard
because this guy works
bored,
hard. It's
I'm
my
just
day
tired.
off. I was,
You're well rested and
I
all
was
shiny. and
farting
I'm like,
around in the backyard, hanging out, filling bird baths and yeah.
How's the crows? Crows are good?
Any new gifts?
No. Oh, yeah, but I don't know if those are gifts. I think, I think they're just like rinsing their food down and leaving the entrails in the bird bath.
Like, Mom and Dad, do my dishes.
Not so many gifts as much as we've been getting a lot of items that have been showing up, but I don't think they're gifts.
Yeah.
It takes a while to establish a relationship.
Yeah,
Right.
we're gonna get there.
It's
But
warming up. Yeah.
I met another one of my neighbors, which is cool. you know,
Fill
so
me in.
yeah.
I love it. So far we have the one neighbors who all
they
of them
they
peel in.
Yeah.
and then we've
It's
got
part of the-
across, you know, our older Olga, our older kind of lady
Yeah.
that, and she's got a nice family that always comes and hangs out
Love
with her.
that.
And then on the other side of Olga, on that side of the street, is the neighbors, and they're the ones that have the kid that skateboards, and he's got the band,
Nice.
and
Sweet.
you know, he's
Very
into.
cool.
I saw him golfing out there, like how I used to do my Born
Yeah,
Classic. So
of
like,
course.
yeah, I was just had this like Fiskars kind of like tool, and I was like just basically like manhandling the weeds out of the cracks of the sidewalks.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh man, those are really annoying." And she had a cup of coffee, and she kind of walked over. I was like, "Hey," you know, we talked, and I, you know, had mentioned how like, I saw your son. Is it that
do
he's
some research.
jamming? And she's like, "Yeah, he's trying to put a band together." And I was like, "Yeah, whenever I got the band, and I'll have to get them to come over and
That's
you know."
right.
Show them how to
Teach
play
'em-
some
teach
drums
'em a
or
couple
this or that. But
things.
no, it was really fun just kind of meeting them and just, you know, we're making more gains with the house, you know, it feeling more like a neighborhood every day when you meet new people and stuff. And I've always wanted that where like in the middle of the street, you know, cars are driving by, we'd both back up and then we'd get back in our conversation. And I was just, she's like, "Yeah, what you want to do is, you know, spray like some, you know, weed killer on it when they're still alive or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just faking it till I make it." You know, like me and Aaron,
Just trying
we're
stuff.
first time homeowners. And
That's
I was
it.
like, "You guys are the pros or whatever." She's like, "Oh, I'm not a pro." And but yeah, it was just a fun kind of neighborly meeting.
Yeah, you know, it's different. Like I spend a lot of time on 4th Street in Lansdowne, and I only had one neighbor, and that was Bill and Joyce. And Joyce, every year, we had the botanical garden in the back, and so we had this big giant grapevine that had all these grapes all the time, and we had a big pear tree. So every year she'd climb on top of her garage, and she'd just take all the grapes and all the pears, and then make a bunch of jam and stuff for us. Like just the best neighbor, and they
You
were
had a
always the
jam
ones.
hookup?
They were always the ones too that would clean out the drains, so everything would drain well. Like I didn't know how blessed I was neighbor-wise until we left there, and then I didn't have any neighbors for a long time out at Blackstrap. And then coming in here, I got Darcy over here and I got Dawn over here, and I told both, like, just so you guys know, I'm like, I really struggle with getting out, and like I'm very introverted, so if you don't see me out and about like a normal neighbor should be, like, just say hi to me and just remind me and stuff. And like, I really appreciate you guys, but I'm just like, I'm not the type to go out and be like, hey neighbor, you know. So Don all the time, he's always here. He's giving me food, he's giving Maggie treats, he's doing all these incredibly nice things. I see Darcy every now and then. Super awesome, incredible neighbors. But me with my crazy brain, it's like I'm always scared to be invited to the neighbor's house. Like just all of these
that would be
things
super
eat me alive.
anxiety-inducing.
Yeah, and I know it's all on me, so I try to make sure I let them know that I'm like, I'm going through this stuff and I'm dealing with it and all that. But couldn't ask for nicer neighbors.
Yeah,
so
they
I've been
always
really
seem nice.
blessed with neighbors around, and everyone that comes through, they always say, because the neighbors are always saying hi, because we have different people coming through here every day. So they're sort of a part of this team just by being neighbors.
Proximity.
That's it. So it's very cool to have that. What's your neighbor sitch like out at the ranch?
No neighbors, no problem.
There it is. And that's that's what you want, though,
That's
right?
kind of what
Yeah.
I want. I mean, I lived in the same house for almost 20 years, and wouldn't say I had the greatest neighbors. Didn't really. I mean, the one house was a rental for a few years, and that brought
Yeah.
all sorts of people, and then even the lady that lived there. It started out kind of rough. Eventually, she kind of warmed up to us, so it turned out okay.
Hold on a second. It sounds like there's a story there. What happened? Or can you talk
okay,
about it? Is
so
this the, here you go.
Talk
Buckle up,
about
Buckaroo.
it. Talk
Yeah,
about
there
it.
you
Where do
go.
we begin?
So I bought the house with a buddy years ago, and he really only lived there for maybe 6 or 8 months, and then he moved out with his lady. So I was solo. I started dating Amanda. Obviously, she was staying there. Like she didn't move in, but she was there a lot, obviously.
A lot.
And I had the neighbor really had an issue with, and I get it. Like, I'm the same way. Like, I think it should be an unwritten rule. Like, the spot in front of your house is where you park,
Yes.
right? It's just where you park.
We getting into this right
Like,
now?
no,
Yes.
it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Okay.
So I tried to go by that, right? And like our house, you could fit like 2 cars. Like most houses, you can fit 2 cars. Maybe some houses you can fit more. But Amanda would come over, and I guess, like, I think Ty had already moved out. So, but like, I can only park in front of my house if the person on the other side of me has parked in front of their house, and if they have an extra car, then I need to back up a few feet or whatever. So it was Amanda. Oh, that's what it was. I was renting the basement suite, but he parked in the back. But he, for whatever reason, parked in the front and came home at the same time that my neighbor was coming home, and she basically like intentionally hit Amanda's car as a thought, like, well, she's over, and she was over this line by
This
a foot
hypothetical,
or
yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
right? Like, she still had lots of room. But so hit the car. So Blaine kind of comes in. He's like, hey, like, the neighbor just hit Amanda's car. And, it's night out, whatever. So I go out and I'm taking a flashlight just to see if there's any damage. And she comes out of the house and, yeah, you think I hit your car, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, no, I saw, like, we were told that you hit the car. I'm
We don't
looking at
think-
the damage.
yes,
like, I'm
we
not
know.
bothering you.
Yeah.
And she'd like to hit the sauce pretty hard, And so, yeah, it kind of started out like that. Like, prior to that, hadn't really seen or talked to her, and that was kind of our first introduction. I was like, holy
Bad
shit. Like,
first
this is
impression,
dangerous
bro.
here.
Yeah.
And then I think, and I'm sure because the house was a rental before we bought it, I'm sure she thought we were other
Putting up
renter.
with-
You know what I
putting up with
mean? Like, so
shit,
you,
yeah.
just like we did with the house, when her house became a rental, we're like, oh, friggin' more renters coming in and yada yada.
She labeled him.
Oh, yes.
Big
Yeah,
time.
I was labeled. So, but yeah, we kind of got through that. We kind of kept to ourselves. And then eventually, whatever, got married, had kids, and she realized that we're like, oh, we're just like a young couple doing our thing, and then she really did warm up, and like she would bring
won
the
her
kids over little gifts and books, and then she actually passed away. I mean, it was I don't know, maybe 6-8 years ago now, and then it became a rental, and then I had people showing up on my back doorstep at 4:00 in the morning. I had I'm pretty sure for a while, I think there was like prostitution happening in the house. There was drug dealing happening in the house. Yep. The next people after they moved out, then I think there was like 8 or 10 people, like a family living in the house, where it's like those houses are maybe 3 bedrooms, two in the bed, 2 upstairs, maybe 1 bedroom in the basement kind of thing. And there was 10 or 12 people living.
It's like a way less fun version of Full House.
And then I think it was the one after that huge family was another party house, and it's like I would go to bed, and then that's when they would start firing up the party. So there's a few times I chased people.
That's
some real shit, bro. That's very real shit. Yeah.
So now I don't really have neighbors, and I'm pretty stoked about it. So I unfortunately I didn't have I had a good neighbor across the street, but I kind of got jaded with crap. Oh, I got crappy neighbors all the time, So it was
rightfully
really
so, dude. Because you
stoked
did
to not have neighbors. I guess.
So far, we're 3 for 4, which is good. The ones next to us, I have had a few times where I was out in the yard doing some weeding, and she drove by and we locked eyes, and then there was just nothing, and so I feel like it's probably gonna be it's not gonna be a good thing.
Did you even try to
No, it was just looked at me and then looked right through me, and I was just okay, I guess we're not saying hi.
Yeah. You know what you gotta do? You gotta bake a pie or a cake. You gotta do something. You gotta put out the peace offering. Well, if you go over there and you're like, hey, I'm the new neighbor, check us out, and if they're like, F you, then
kill them with kindness, baby.
But it's I seem like I'm a nice guy, but I'm not really that nice of a guy.
Hey,
I don't know.
You are a
no,
nice
I
guy.
am. It was one of those things where it'll probably happen, but it might also be one of those. They could be when we talk to the neighbors that peel in. They still haven't talked to them, and they've lived there for a couple of years, so they might just be fairly.
They're the Garys of the place. They're scared to talk to anybody.
But they don't have the wow factor that you have, though.
It's not me. It's this beautiful place. This is the wow.
Well, and actually, so going back, so I only talked about the one house side, because on the other,
get out of here. There's another part.
On the other one, the other house was really good. Actually, that's where Gibby, Chris Gibson, lived next door to me.
Dude, are you talking, man?
And I'm still friends with him, and we became friends by being neighbors.
Chris Gibson, right? I remember that house, dude. It's an old house, and it was a big old house. Great description. Hey, did I nail it?
It's an old house. A big old house.
I remember
it wasn't that big. But
he was my basketball coach, and I remember I was grade 7 or grade 8, and we got a ride to we biked to the coach's place, to Chris's place, and we were getting set to go to basketball, and he was giving us a ride. And I remember walking in there and be like, man, it smells really weird in here. What is that? And I didn't think much about it. And then as I got older, I realized what that smell was.
Otto's jacket?
Yeah, totally Otto's jacket.
So that would have been his parents' house, though.
That's the one. It was a big old house. Right when you walked in, I just remember it being so big and open and beautiful.
This is the house that he bought, though, when he got married.
Okay, so this is the one. Yeah.
So I was living there. There was an older.
Yeah, that would have been 30-some years ago.
This would have been 15 years ago, kind of thing. But he moved in, and then they had. Well, they were pregnant, I think, or not quite pregnant, and then they had twins, and then they had twins, and then they had another baby, and it's okay, now we need. So they unfortunately didn't last very long. But then I had another buddy move in, who was pretty cool. He actually he would take me hunting and got me into chickens.
See, that's
cool.
He was a farm kid,
Cool.
So he's why don't you have chickens on the acreage? I'm I don't know. What do I need? He's wow, I'll get you some chickens, and then you'll have them. I'm okay. So it got me into a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then another neighbor moved in.
Oh, no.
And then it took a turn for the worse. She started, she wanted to build up her fence, and so I was like, well, yeah, if you want to redo your fence, like, let's talk about it. Let's come up with a
work
budget.
together
Like,
and let's do it, yeah.
let's knock this one. Like, we'll go together and split the fence and like do it properly. She's like, well, I was thinking of doing something kind of a little different.
Uh-oh.
So she basically collected free lumber off Kijiji and Marketplace, had the fire department called on her because she was just piling up
Stockpiling.
lumber,
Yeah.
and it wasn't me. Of
Lumber
course, she
pile.
assumed it was me. I did not call. I'm not a friggin' rat.
That's
I
on
was
the
like,
record.
I was judging, from inside my house. Like, that's a fire hat.
I'm not right. You are currently chewing on this piece of wood right now.
But then she just started like tacking up pieces of wood to the and like this fence was old and needed to be replaced.
Yeah.
And so
not
not
very
even to the
sturdy.
posts, but to the
Yeah.
fence boards, she just started nailing things in. So then I have like 3-inch nails
Popping
sticking
on
out
your
of
side.
my
Yeah,
fence boards
dog.
on my side, and we're like, and like we had young kids at the
Yeah,
time.
that's a
It's like,
safety
hey,
issue.
like we can't like there's bylaws with fence height and like
Yeah.
dangerousness of the fence.
Yeah.
And so she was choked at that. And so she hired someone to then build a second fence up against so she wasn't like, she basically wasn't like damaging our fence, our joint fence. She just built another fence
Her
on
own
her
on her
side.
side, yeah.
But it was like 4x4 posts and plywood.
Oh.
And that's it. And I was like, well, at least we don't have
Yeah.
to deal with her.
It's like a pen.
But I
Oh,
like
yeah.
the not taking down the existing fence and just putting like basically
move.
after like however many there's just gonna be like 10 fences, kind of like a bunch
and
of
her
layers
yard's
of
just gonna
paint.
get smaller and smaller. But yeah, she was like, "Oh, it's gonna be this decoupage," like, and it was something. She just ram nailed stuff together, and it was just like, holy shit.
We call it the impaler.
That's exactly what I would have did.
Yeah.
Like to a T.
Yeah,
And then you can have like a backyard wrestling death match with that.
yeah. So then we would still like, whatever. Like that's, that whole scenario has come and gone, and we would still like, "Hey, how's it going?" And she would just,
Yeah.
no.
Oh
Tunnel
no.
vision, like
you,
no
yeah.
waves, and we're like, whatever.
See,
okay,
that's almost
cool."
worse when you've got a connection and then it deteriorates. It's almost best if you just have no connection. Ever.
Honestly, right from the start, because they had a young son, and I was like, Amanda, like, these are not people, like, whatever, like, we can be cordial, but like, I don't really want to.
No play dates.
No play dates.
Yeah.
And then it kind of turned to that, and then kind of all this stuff happened, and it was just like, it's like I just knew we should have never gotten like.
I fucking told you so.
Yeah. Anyway, no
Hey.
neighbors, no problem.
There you go. We talked about festivals. We talked about road trips. We talked about gardening. We talked about neighbors. I think that's a pretty good show.
Ain't that bad when you
Ain't
think
bad.
about it.
Ain't bad. Phenom, what do you say we make Frankie up here and we'll make our way to the end of this episode of your show. There you go. They're going. They're cooking. They're cooking. Oh, he's getting it.
You gotta play with your beak there, man.
This is all so good.
Finally, someone.
I'm a classically trained pianist, so I always keep it real.
Yeah, he's a very good pianist. It's been way too long. Dare I say, it's been a while since you've done this. I'm really, really enjoying the all-in. Two totally different ways of performing right here for you. Huge thank yous, man. Both you guys, always. Thank you for being here every Tuesday, making the magic happen. To your beautiful wife, Erin, always a pleasure. To my sweet phenom, pop it over, give him a wave, let him know what's up. There he is. The hand is growing, slowly but surely. The jabrones are here.
Jabron.
Very excited. LB, Dragon getting ready to get back to work as if they haven't already worked enough today and yesterday. Get jumping right back into it. To Royal Anders, my sweet, beautiful prince. Thank you for always making everything so fun. To Margaret, you're the best. To Rihanna over at Night Athletics. Great massage today, thank you. Mike over at Pet Planet on 8th Street. They are your pet's natural grocer. Another great shopping experience over there. It is Tuesday treat day, so go get some discounts on treats and have a lot of fun over there. We'll be back tomorrow with the All the Way Around table. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that with Adrian the Canadian, as well as Coach Kamatu, Curtis Anderson, and the birthday boy himself, Simon Hyatt. Birthday on Sunday, but we're going to still celebrate. So we got that to look forward to. Enjoy hockey tonight. Who's going to win hockey?
Edmonton.
Oh, we got one.
Canadians.
Edmonton all the way.
Oh.
Sounds like a pro Edmonton
Canadians
Canadian. We like
not
that.
playing?
So,
No, I'm just pro Canadian. Go Habs.
gross. I'm not going to end like that. 6 o'clock puck drop, Florida, in Florida, taking on the Oilers. Florida wins, you get a cup. Edmonton wins, they're going back for Game 7. So enjoy that. And we'll do a big recap of whatever happens tonight on the show tomorrow. Remember, karma is so very, very, very real. If you keep doing good things, they'll start happening to you. The golden rule, treat others how you want to be treated. This whole place is proof that it works. All right, have a great rest of your night. We love you.
See you later.
Catch